Hello, Professor White. My name's Seth Cooper. I'm in your Aviation 326 class for Commercial 2. I chose to do a cross-country flight lesson for this lesson. Cross-country flight is flying in excess of 50 nautical miles from your departure airport. So, and it's something that we're doing quite a bit of, so I like to really dive into it and learn as much as I can from everybody and through training. Considerations for this flight: we got our trip. I want to obviously pick the safest route and the best trip. I'm out on the West Coast in California. There's a lot of terrain to the east, so there's a lot of considerations into where I'm going to go and how I'm going to do it. I got 10,000 foot mountains. That's something I got to consider. So I can either go north, and I can't go south because I'm right at Mexico. So, and then our PAVE checklist: the pilot, the aircraft, the environment, and the external pressures. The trip that I've come up with is from my home airport, Palomar in Carlsbad, California, to Camarillo Airport. It's 112 nautical miles, and I plan for a 0800 departure with just under an hour and a half trip. The pilot would be myself, a commercial student with an instrument rating. I got about 280 hours, 45 hours of cross country. I do have an instrument rating. I'm familiar with the area in Southern California. I'm current and proficient, and I'm healthy. I'm no illnesses, medications, sleep's good, no fatigue, eating's good, everything's good. So the aircraft that we're flying is a rental from the flight school. It's a 172 Sierra model. It's 53 gallons usable. It has a Garmin 650 in it, and all the maintenance is current. Your AAVA annual VOR and your 100-hour transponder ELT. Everything's good to go. The environment that we're looking at for our departure is it's really good. It's blue skies, it's Southern California weather. We don't really have anything to worry about. There's no clouds, there's no convective activity, and same for our destination. We don't have anything to really keep an eye out for. The NOTAMs for our departure airport, there are none. And then our destination airport, we're looking at a runway closure at about 14:30 to 1500, so about 30 minutes. So if we were delayed, that's something we need to take into consideration. The environment out here, it can be a little tricky with all the terrain. There's Bravo airspace stacked on top of everything with Charlie airspace. There's a lot of skydiving, and there's also, at summertime, there's a lot of wildfires. So that's something to really consider. There's a lot of TFRs and stuff to look out for, as well as just the smoke and the performance of the airplane and the pilot flying for 3-4 hours in smoke. It's just not really healthy, and maybe it's something you should consider. So I'm constantly evaluating these things every time I plan, especially with the terrain. I'm not going to out-climb 10,000 foot mountains, so I really need to know where I'm going to go, and I'm going to have to navigate a lot of Bravo airspace and corridors, and when you get the skydiving and the fires involved, it really can make things tricky. And I obviously have quite a few alternates. Most of those are Bravos and Charlies. The external pressures, this is something I really take serious. Being a Liberty student, there is quite a bit of stress on getting everything done on the deadlines, and maintaining the curriculum. So with the logistics of all that, the plane, the weather, the flight instructor, and even my own life, balancing a job and school and trying to make everything line up, it can be a lot of pressure to make things happen, and I don't want to let that stack against me and me go on a day that I probably shouldn't go just to meet a deadline. So we covered the PAVE checklist, and then the 5 P's: pilot, programming, plane, passengers. We're looking at the planning and the programming left of that. We already covered the rest of that with the PAVE. So the planning and programming, I'm looking at the route. I'm using ForeFlight, GPS, flight following, dead reckoning, and pilotage. Everything we've learned from private on, and then as well, we have our GPS, which helps quite a bit with ForeFlight. Weather, I like to use ForeFlight, and I do call flight services as often I need to. And then in flight, we got ATC. They'll help you out as much as they can, as long as, flight service is great. ATC for your flight. I like to get flight following. I also like to file instrument. I like to be on the radio with those guys as much as possible. They're a lot of help, super friendly. I don't think it's necessary for people to be shy to use those services. And then GPS, I love the GPS, the 650, the Garmin 650. Doing my instrument rating on it, I'm very current and proficient, and it makes me feel pretty comfortable. Aeronautical decision making. It's a systematic approach to the mental process of a given set of circumstances and determining the best course of action. So this is a process that starts all the way from the time you wake up, checking the weather, all the way from the house. You get to the airport, rechecking everything, asking maintenance, reps, etc. And then you're reevaluating constantly as you go, taxi and takeoff, en route, arrival, descent, your approach. And then, even after you're completely done, you want to debrief every flight and see what you've done, what you can learn from, and what you can change. My references, I use the 172 POH. I've also used ForeFlight for weather, NOTAMs, flight planning, trips, everything. And then the definition of the FAA aeronautical decision making. I hope you like my presentation. I hope you have a good week. Thank you.